If you're looking for a super awesome remote jobs that will train you and pay you really well, then check out this video because I searched for 5 remote companies that are always hiring. Again, they provide the equipment and pay up to $37 an hour, and these jobs will not last long. So let's hop right in. So first up on our list is going to be Dropbox. Now, you guys have all used Dropbox for storage and for file sharing, that sort of stuff. You're very familiar with it, but what you're not familiar with is how much these positions pay for a collections analyst. Now, I keep saying, if you ever worked in collections, you could easily be making $30 to $40 an hour, but y'all don't believe me. So in this role, you are basically responsible for business to business collections of accounts that have basically gone past due. Now, this isn't your typical collections account where you're talking to regular customers like myself to say, hey, when are you going to pay your bills? No, this is a business enterprise position, meaning that you're talking to actual corporations to say, hey, you guys owe us a little bit of money, right? But in this capacity, you are supporting more of a portfolio. And when you reach out to these companies to collect these overdue balances, you're doing it from an accounts receivable ticketing perspective, which means you're basically sending out tickets or emails and you're saying, hey, this needs to be paid. This is just a reminder that you've got an outstanding balance with us. So I love that this is a different perspective in the sense of it's not phone based where you're talking to people and trying to convince people and like people are hanging up on you. It's not that at all. This is actually a lot less stressful. This is really like low key, like chill, to be honest with you, because you're doing it via tickets and via emails. And so you're ultimately sending this to different companies, and you may do things like submit a refund or an adjustment, like maybe a company overpaid for something and you're like, hey, we're going to send you that $1,000 back, and you send that via email, right? So again, they're saying that you don't need to have much experience. If you've got 2 years of experience in like billing support or, any type of payment arrangements, customer support, even help desk support, all of that's going to be very relevant. You don't need to have a degree in accounts receivable or anything like that. That's kind of like a nice to have. But again, these jobs train you. And this is something that you can easily learn if you've ever done any sort of cash management, cash handling, billing support, payment support, all that stuff. It's just excellent experience to have. Now, this is what I love. Now, you guys can absolutely, if you want, you can research Salesforce and Oracle Fusion. Those are softwares that are used in like the world of collections. I will watch a 10-minute YouTube video on this to understand how Salesforce plays a role in helping to track whom has an outstanding balance, right? So I've used Salesforce in many of my roles. It is very easy to use, very user-friendly. Oracle Fusion as well. So make sure when you go in and you apply for this job, you know how much you're worth, right? Because if you work in collections and you are only making $20 an hour, this is a whole new baseball game, honey. Because even if you lived in zone 3, you're going to start off making $63,000 to $86,000. Okay. That breaks down to over $30 an hour, up to $43 per hour. For those of you that live in zone 2 is kind of like Austin, Chicago, not the biggest cities, but kind of like those mid-sized metro cities. You're going to start at 71 and go up to 96,000 in just your range. That's if they just bring you in as a regular analyst. Some of you are going to be brought in as a senior analyst, but you have to ask for that. If you've ever worked in like collections, or like customer support, billing support, and like you were a team lead or a supervisor, that is where you say, hey, I've got this experience already. I know how to reconcile accounts. I know how to issue payments, issue refunds. I've got this accounts receivable experience or this collections experience. Accounts receivable is a very fancy way of saying collections. So do not let that throw you off. Okay. And then you can also say like, hey, I've been someone that has had to make a payment arrangement before. So I fully understand this process process via the customer's perspective, as well as the enterprise perspective. So I've got this 360 view of what happens when we're trying to reconcile these sorts of accounts, right? You have to use their type of lingo, right? You got to kind of finesse it, okay? So make sure you're applying for this. I do have the resumes done in your portal already, paybump.com. Now let's take a look at our next position. So for those of you that have said, Jazzy, I want to do something that's completely entry level friendly. I don't have any experience. I've been out of work for 5 years. This is going to be perfect for you guys. Okay. Williams Sonoma, okay, is a company that specializes in home goods. They also own other brands like Pottery Barn, West Elm, if you've ever shopped at those places. So if you go to their website, you'll see that they've got full-time positions in all these different locations, and they've also got part-time positions. And if you go over here to where it says all sites, this is going to be for anywhere within the United States, right? And so if you go here, this is for part-time, but again, they've got full-time for different locations. You'll see here that they are in the process of hiring. They are wanting people to start in July. Okay. So you get the 40% discount on merchandise. You know, it's paid training from the comfort of your home. They have contests, and there are a lot of internal promotional opportunities. I've seen people go from being a customer service rep to a supervisor in less than 2 months. Right. And yes, that does come with a pay increase. So the salary for this is going to be based on, you know, your level. So if you're coming in completely entry level, then they're going to start you with that. But of course, your salary can increase. They do provide you with 4 weeks of training, and they want you to be there 100% of the time. But again, this is very entry level friendly. If you have never ever worked, or if you've got gaps in your resume, or you just want a part-time summer gig to take you, you know, through the next couple of months, this is what is going to be perfect for you all. So what do we have next on our list? CVS. Now, CVS is always hiring. Listen, when I tell you CVS is full of positions, even if you don't want to do phones, they've got a position for you. Let's take, for instance, this paper claims processor position, right? Now, mind you, it's going to say the location is in Phoenix. That was pre-COVID when people worked in the office. Okay. CVS is primarily going to be remote. So if you do not live in Phoenix, it's okay. You should still be applying for the jobs. This is just for people that physically want to go into an office, which I think most of you do not. So again, it is a fully remote position, and we've had people all over the United States get hired with CVS regardless of their location. So what the heck does a paper claims processor do? Well, let's look into it. So basically what they do is they receive and monitor the accuracy of claim forms, right, submitted by healthcare providers. So when someone goes to the doctor has to essentially send a form to their insurance company so that they can get paid. And that's basically what you're going to be reviewing. So you're going to look at the claim information and make sure that the patient information and the provider details, all that good stuff, is accurate, right? We want to make sure that all this has been entered into the system correctly. And we do that to help them determine the eligibility of a claim, to make sure if the claim pays out or if they ultimately deny the claim. That is what you're helping them do when you are checking for the validity of this information, this data that's being input, right? So you might calculate the claim payment based on reimbursement rates or fees with the healthcare provider. Again, this is a no phones job. Now, occasionally you might have to call a healthcare provider if you just couldn't read their handwriting or something like that. But for the most part, this is going to be a data entry job. Okay. You're doing primarily data entry. Okay. So if you've got a little bit of experience in customer service, that's great. A plus would be if you've ever done any sort of data entry. And of course, if you've worked as a certified billing and coding specialist, it's a preference, but it's not a requirement. It is not a requirement because CVS does train you. I think they provide 8 to 12 weeks of training is what I think I remembered. And this salary range is going to go up to $25 an hour based on your experience, your location, your education, and all those other factors. They do also provide you with a CVS health bonus, or sometimes you get a commission or a short-term incentive, and this goes on top of your base pay, right? So sometimes that can come in the form of a sign-on bonus. It might come in the form of getting a bonus after you've been there for 3 months. Like, there are many different bonuses that CVS can ultimately give out. You don't need a medical background to do this because, again, this is more of a data entry position. That's why it's called a claims processor position. And as I've said before, they will train you. And yes, we've got the resume for this position as well. Make sure you apply regardless of your location, because again, this is a pre-COVID sort of thing when people were going into the office. CVS is fully remote for 99% of their claims and their customer related positions, right? So another company that is always hiring is Progressive. I personally love Progressive because they're pretty much a company that is friendly to moms, people with gaps in their resumes, people that are just completely entry level that want to start kind of like over, right? And they pay well too. So if we go here, you'll see that they are hiring nationally. Like, all states are hiring at this point. And what's great is you can drill down and put that you want to work in a contact center, and also that you're looking for entry level, which is right here. So that's what I've gone in, and I checked the job level to be entry level. So again, very beginner friendly. Now let's just take a peek at one of these jobs and kind of take a look at what this looks like, right? So as an insurance agent, they're basically the people that you talk to when you're involved in some sort of collision. Now, this is not going to be a cold calling where you're trying to sell anything. This is people calling into you to say, hey, I need to file a claim for something that just happened. Now, if you have an active property and casualty license, that's great. They will pay you more. If you do not have that, what they will accept is 2 years of work experience. This can be any experience in customer service. It could have been claims. It could have been help desk support. As long as you have 2 years of some sort of work experience, it's fine, because Progressive will provide you with training. They are another one that trains you for like 12 weeks or something like that, right? They've got pretty much 3 different schedules that you can pick from. And then when it comes to the compensation, they're going to start at $21.50 an hour, and then you get an extra 10% if you work evenings or weekends. But if you look at the gain share bonus, this is like a really big deal, because for a lot of you, if you were to work with Progressive and let's say they did start you at like 23, 24 an hour, this bonus, the 16%, is going to come out to a little over $8,000, right? As a gain share bonus, right? So a lot of people use that for like a down payment on a house, down payment on a car, whatever. It's an extra $8,000 every year. And this is in addition to what you get for your base salary. So resumes have been done for that as well. And y'all know I got to do a quick little shout out, because I keep telling you guys to tell me what you want to see. Okay. And so we have the beautiful Miss Queen here that said, Jazzy, I'm looking for a work from home opportunity that's legit, and I'm already making about $70K a year. And she said she had a background in accounts payable and receivable, and I really want to work from home. So, honey, I need you to apply for the Zillow role, right? Because that is perfect with your accounts receivable experience, right? And then Miss Amy said, Jazzy, I'm a medical billing and coding student with little job experience. I don't have a certification or degree. Can you find something that I can do while attending classes? Amy, I'm going to need you to absolutely apply for that CVS role. Okay. CVS loves when people are like, in current training and, they got a little bit of experience with like, medical terminology and that sort of stuff. So Amy, I need you to apply for that like ASAP. Okay. Same with you, Miss Abigail, patient care credentialing. I need you to apply like ASAP. Now, shout out to the people that have gotten jobs. So Miss Monique actually got a job with Hotel Engine. She said, I finally received a job offer from Hotel Engine. Okay. And she did a couple of interviews. She got her start date. Congratulations to you. And then Miss Destiny said, hey, Jazzy, got a job offer. I applied for CVS using your resume template and got an email the next day to do a phone interview. And then after that, she got scheduled to do a video interview with the hiring manager. And she said, I encourage everyone to purchase the resume kit. It's a game changer. Thank you so much, Jazzy, for all that you do. Well, thank you for believing in yourself. Okay. That's just first and foremost. I love that you instantly got a job, like, the interview the next day. And then soon after that, you got the actual job. And then Mr. Turner said, today I got my first work from home job offer from Williams-Sonoma. Thanks to your resume template and interview cheat sheet. Y'all, I'm telling you, you need to be using that resume kit and interview cheat sheet. It is a game changer. And then Miss Alejandra said, I just received my official offer today from Progressive as a multi-product agent, and I start on May 2nd. I couldn't be more thrilled. And of course, she said she decided to purchase 1 month of the templates. And obviously it worked out for her because she used the templates and the interview prep kit to impress the recruiters and hiring managers. So I just wanted to say shout out to you all. I'm so proud of you all. I love it. I love it. I love it. Congratulations to all of you. Now we've got a couple of more jobs that we want to look at. Remember, Progressive is hiring. So go ahead and apply for this ASAP because these jobs do close quickly sometimes, right? Now, Hotel Engine, as we've just seen, someone got hired with Hotel Engine rather quickly. They used the resumes and the interview prep in the portal, and they landed the job. So if you've never heard of Hotel Engine, they are kind of like Priceline, Travelocity, Hotels.com. They basically help you find cheaper rates on hotels, but they work exclusively with businesses, right? So this is a different tier of customers, but they're hiring for a member support associate, right? Now, if you want to work in an office, you'll have to do that in Denver. If you don't want to work in an office, you can do that remotely throughout the United States, where you choose. Okay. So it says the member support team is growing and they're looking for customer service gurus to join in on the fun. And so you're essentially going to collaborate with members. You might do this with email and chat to help them manage their reservations. Most of the people that I talk to that work here say they don't really talk on the phones. I've been told that they primarily use email and chat to help people with their hotel reservations, right? Now, sometimes they might have to confirm with the hotel that the person's account information matches up or that their name and credit card information is correct. But it's ultimately about helping people with their hotel reservations. So they just want you to have a positive, energetic personality over the phone and email. Again, most of this is probably going to be email. And if you've got any experience with travel industry, that's going to be a plus. And they are 7 days a week. Now, there is a possibility of working nights, weekends, and holidays, but this is something for you to discuss with the recruiter to see what shift they ultimately want you to work, because it says here they're actively hiring for people to work weekends and to also work PM shifts, which are, the evening shifts. So this job is going to pay $20 an hour. Again, if you're looking for a specific shift, just talk that over with the recruiter because they are open 7 days a week, right? And this is remote throughout the US. So make sure you apply for this ASAP. This job will not last long, and nor will the other jobs for that matter. So make sure that you are applying for these jobs and that you are absolutely interviewing and practicing your interviewing as you go through this job process. We have a video that is dedicated to you getting all the help that you need for your interview. If interviews make you nervous, because as we always say, we want you to stay ready so that you never ever have to get ready. Oh,